What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV, hitting you with that back-to-back Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered supply drop weapon review. In yesterday's video, we discussed the Fang 45 supply drop SMG. If you missed that video, I will link it in the description down below, the very first link. You can click on that when you're done here. And check out the SMG if you're more of a rush and gun player. If you're more of an LMG style player, you'll want to stay right here because we're talking about the Bered MK8, which of course was the second LMG added through the supply drop system to Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. The first one was the PKM based off the PKP Pechneg from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. It wasn't as high up on my radar as the Bered MK8. In fact, I have to announce something of a bias before I begin today's review, and that is the Bered MK8 has quickly become my favorite LMG in the game, and so I may praise this weapon a little more than is natural. I don't think a lot of players think so much of the Bered MK8. A lot of players kind of disregard it. Oh yeah, it's an LMG. Who really cares? No one uses LMGs anyways. The LMG class is really underrated, honestly, in Modern Warfare Remastered. The RPD is absolutely amazing. The M60, when you use it in certain circumstances, can be very powerful. And the M249 saw is an amazing bullet hose. The PKM, which we reviewed a little while ago, which I'll probably link in the cards or maybe another link in the description down below, was a very powerful LMG, very similar to the RPD, but just not as powerful. I prefer the Bered MK8 not because of its sheer effectiveness, but more in terms of the variety that it provides. The Bered MK8 is not the best LMG in the game. The RPD still has that honor. The Bered MK8, however, has the highest fire rate of all of the LMGs and a very unique damage property that allows you to use all kinds of different perks that you can't use with other weapons in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. So for a little bit more explanation, the Bered MK8 has a very interesting damage profile. In fact, stopping power is not required and in fact not even recommended by yours truly. I don't use stopping power on the Bered MK8 because it's more or less useless. The weapon will get you a 3 to 5 shot kill regardless of if you're using stopping power or not. Now when you're using stopping power, that 3 shot kill is a little bit longer and you can get some quicker kills, but really there isn't that much of a drastic change between the 3 shot kill range without stopping power and the 3 shot kill range with stopping power. And if you've played Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered for any length of time, you'll know that stopping power is the pinnacle perk of this game. It's the perk that you must use on almost every single class if you wish to be effective, but with this weapon, you don't need that, which opens up so much variety in terms of perk 2, and even in other perk categories as well, because usually you build your class around a stopping power perk 2, and you'll add on perk 3s and perk 1s to kind of complement that playstyle. With this weapon, you can come up with some crazy combinations, and it's still a very effective weapon regardless of stopping power or not. So you can use Juggernaut on this LMG, and you can be an absolute tank running in, spraying and praying your LMG. You can use Sleight of Hand, though I find Sleight of Hand kind of a wasted perk too for this weapon because unlike other LMGs in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, the Bered MK8 is an assault LMG, and the difference is this. Standard LMGs in this game feature a large box magazine with an ammunition strip which must be manually loaded into each individual weapon, drastically increasing reloading times. You're handling a very large weapon, very large box magazines, you're fooling around with the ammunition strip. The Bered MK8, on the other hand, is a tactical weapon, in some ways an assault rifle LMG hybrid, such as its clippable magazine. You just clip the magazine in and go. It's the fastest reloading LMG in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered to date. This being beside the fact that LMGs feature the largest magazine capacity of any weapon class in-game, making you reload a lot less often and further decreasing the effectiveness of Sleight of Hand in a game where perk selection is already so limited as is. I would say hunker down in a secluded area before you go to reload rather than using Sleight of Hand on your LMGs. I think it's a wasted perk altogether. Another great example of a wasted perk would be UAV Jammer, though some of you may find that to be a falsehood. Some of you really enjoy UAV Jammer even on weapons that you don't suppress. My only concern is that when you start firing the Bered MK8, it's very loud, it fires very fast, and you will be plastered all over the radar. But in a game like Search and Destroy or a tactical game mode such as that, it could be a very effective perk on the Bered MK8 because you don't need that stopping power to begin with. My personal preference for perk 2 when it comes to the Bered MK8, which you're seeing in the gameplay today, is double tap. In terms of increasing overall combat effectiveness in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered, 2 perks come to mind, being stopping power and double tap. Stopping power increases the damage of every bullet you produce, whereas double tap increases your actual production of those bullets in somewhat of a rapid fire capability, increasing your rate of fire. Now, I've mentioned numerous times that the Bered MK8 is the fastest firing LMG and one of the fastest firing weapons in general in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. I think it's safe to say that the double tap perk is incredibly effective, making this weapon into an absolute monster bullet hose. And with stopping power being so ineffective, it's the only proper choice for perk 2 when it comes to the Bered MK8. Not to mention the fact that double tap doesn't necessarily negatively impact the accuracy of this weapon. Being an LMG, I could have recommended the unique attachment opportunity of foregrip if the double tap recoil was a little too heinous. However, I personally have no quarrel with the recoil plot of this weapon, even with double tap sans foregrip. The average player can control this weapon at a longer range as long as they fire it in bursts, which opens up your attachment slots and your perk 1 slot. In terms of attachments, your iron sights on the Bered MK8 are absolutely beautiful, and so optics are not necessary. However, if you have an open slot, you might as well throw on red dot sight to make them that much better. ACOG is not recommended as this weapon is better used at a closer range. Foregrip is there again as well, but as we discussed, it is totally unnecessary. When it comes to perk 1, there is only one true perk 1 that you should be using with the Bered MK8, and that is Bandolier. You're going to be firing so many bullets so quickly with double tap on this weapon, you're going to run out of ammunition very quickly. Bandolier is going to be there for you when you do. You'll be able to engage enemies for longer without having to find another weapon on the ground. Guys, in closing, the Bered MK8 is my favorite LMG in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Apart from the RPD. The RPD is still the best LMG in the game, I think, hands down. The Bered MK8 just provides you with that much more variety, and it's very fun to use if you want to get away from that stopping power mentality and start trying out some other perks. It's great for completing challenges. It's really just an awesome weapon, and I highly recommend it. But let me know what you think of the Bered MK8 in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, subscribe, and activate your notifications, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.